And camp was about
take care of Mary.
a mile and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got right by where the camp was, and there was nothing to say that was the camp there, well, you couldn't get them to go beyond that camp.
Yeah.
The
Couldn't-
horses?
Couldn't get the horses to move.
No,
So that was you were
because
moving.
they knew, boy,
You were moving pulpwood. You said.
yeah,
Okay.
balsam,
Yeah.
8 feet long,
Okay.
ended up in the paper mill. So we loaded up at Woodlawn,
Okay.
called Cornell, Hendricks, and then from there, that once we got 20 cords,
Mm-hmm.
then it would come to the paper mill.
Okay. So that's how you got wood back in the
That's
day.
E and less. That's what you know.
Okay.
It was the NLS.
So that was back in the day. That's how you get wood to the paper mill to make paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Joe Gross was the man that Valerie knows the
Now-
Grosses.
Now, what year would that have been when you worked?
'Cause I got it marked. It was 1937 or 38.
1937, 38.
Yeah.
That's how you got wood back in the day. Okay.
And my dad was experienced woodsman,
Yeah.
very experienced. He was also an experienced driver with horses. He
Okay.
understood his horses.
Yep.
But
you're-
you know, we made horses suffer.
Yeah.
I mean, really suffer. Constipation for them poor horses. And then we'd get some guy that thought he was a veterinarian. He'd come and give them the wrong stuff, and they'd be more constipated
Yeah.
on top of that. And you know, all that water that horse wanted was a pail of water.
Yeah.
And we'd never give it to him.
Really?
No. It's hard when you're up in the woods.
Yeah. You don't got any water.
You got to get a beaver dam that's where it's active, you know, and you can get to the water. But we had a pretty good place to get water.
Yeah.
But from where we were on where our road was for hauling pulpwood, and we were with the horses away, and where the water was, it was hard to get water for them poor horses to drink.
Yeah. Wow.
And we didn't, that's one thing. Well, that's what the people that had dairy farms, you know, cows and that,
Yeah.
they didn't know how to water. They had big tubs, you know, and they filled that with water if they were lucky to have water to put in there. So you say, well, the cows they were always constipated, and some of them would die. So you say, well, what do you do for water? Well, you know what they did for water. Do you remember when the drinking cup came for the cows?
No.
Yeah, the drinking, he'd come into a stanchion, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And there was a little round, just like a big bowl. And then there was a little lever. And they had to press on that lever,
Okay.
and then the water would come up,
Oh wow.
and then they would drink all they wanted. But you had to get them used to that, to pressing
you
on
had
that.
to train them to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had to go by, you know, you have to go by once in a while where you could see someone doing too good. So you had to press, you know, showing them how the water
Yeah.
came up. So
Wow.
first thing you know, they watered themselves.
Yeah.
That was the end of constipation.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
terrible.
So you say your dad was a woodsman?
He was a woodman,
Good.
but they didn't know how to take care of horses.
Yeah.
I
So-
can remember when we had a team boy, and the poor horses were constipated, and they would give them a solution of heavy bran. That's where the bran, you know, all bran, that started
Okay.
back in the woods.
Okay.
And the teamsters, they figured, give her a quart of bran, mix it up with water, and raise
They
the
won't be
horse and
constipated
shove it in that mold.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing you could give them, because when you take all bran, you gotta have water,
Yeah.
and there was no water.
Yeah.
Then they were really constipated. Oh,
Wow.
It was terrible.
Wow.
Well, that's when.
Oh, what about the people? What did you
Well,
guys eat?
Drink.
you came in with a pail
You brought your own
from
water.
the pump. You went to the pump and
The people had water. The horses didn't have water.
And then, you know how we did it, but you didn't see the pictures though. We had a cistern pump.
Oh, right. Yeah, this was cool.
Yeah.
They actually had a cistern in the bottom of the farm.
Oh.
And
In the basement.
if you're
Where the
lucky to have a
cistern is.
basement,
Yeah, it's just like.
Collects water in the
Yeah.
house though.
Oh wow.
now if you're lucky
So-
to have a basement,
Hi,
Yeah.
Ebony.
then you build a cistern. In other words, always was 4 walls, and then the water from during the summer,
Yep.
the water from the rain would drain into that cistern, and it usually was pretty good size, so you could get a lot of water.
Yeah.
So then you had a pipe that went into that water, and then a little pump. They call them cistern pumps. I think probably there was a little pump about that high, and you had to prime it
Okay.
because that pipe was empty.
Yep.
And that's how you wash the dishes. You
Yeah.
never drank that water, but you washed the dishes. And if you had to go to the bathroom, you maybe take a shower.
Yep. Oh wow. So your dad was a woodsman. Did
Oh,
he
yeah.
did he live out there? Like was he gone for a while in the woods?
Yeah, before my time.
Oh, before your time? Okay.
And
So he would have been a
Oh,
he would have
man,
been they call them lumberjacks, right?
Yeah,
He would have been a lumberjack.
that's right. And see, we had to watch how much balsam, we call that for the pulp mill, for the paper mill, how much we would put on a load, like maybe 4 or 5 cords.
Mhm.
But then, before my time, they had what they call ice roads. And the runners from the sleighs,
Yeah.
they would run right. At night, they used to have, that's in the camps when they were big. At night, they would have a special water tank driven by horses that would water these tracks where the
Okay.
sleighs.
Yeah.
So these sleighs were riding on what they call ice roads.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And it would go a
Boy,
lot.
they
it'd
could
go-
load her up.
Yeah. And it would probably go real smooth.
Yeah, really smooth.
Wow.
And you had to watch when you stopped, you know.
Yeah.
So because if you stop, and you like going downhill was a good place to stop. Going uphill is a little bit dangerous because what would happen that sleigh runner would get hot.
Oh.
So then if you stopped all of a sudden, say I'm going up a hill, you might have a hell of a time to start that
Yeah.
on a nice road.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
you had a lot to learn. Oh yeah,
So what did your dad? When did he?
quit.
Yeah.
And, I think it was the last year. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, me and my brother Ernest. I got
Okay.
pictures of that.
Oh yeah.
I got a picture of that pulpwood too. If I ever dig it up,
Okay.
next time you come, I'll show you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, nice kind of load that we put on. I was, I think I was going to be 17, and my other brother was going to be 16. And when we loaded out in the woods, see what you would do, you would cut these 4x8 pieces, you pile them up.
Mhm.
You develop a road, what they call it, not a sleigh road, that would load dray. And you'd haul that to a main road. And then that's when me and my brother would come to these piles
Okay.
that peacemakers would we would bring there in the fall. But anyway, so then sometimes there was that much snow on there.
Yeah.
You had to dig that snow out.
Oh wow.
So when you look at the load that I got a picture of, we had to dig that snow out of those piles.
Really?
And he's only, I'm 17, he was only 16.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
A lot of work.
Never, we went up in October, and that's no lie. October, November, December, January, February, March. That was the day we closed camp.
Okay.
because that's when everything would break, the roads would get slushy. Boy, that was, like my dad, he knew just about to figure that, to get out of the, so you wouldn't try to haul on a road that wasn't fit to be hauling on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
So did you learn a lot from your dad about all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty sharp.
Yeah.
In the woods, he was real sharp. Oh, yeah, he worked for Sawyer Stoll. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's, but how we abuse our horses.
Yeah.
All they wanted was a pail of water.
That's all they wanted, huh?
That's all they wanted.
Wow. Yeah.
Should know that. Man, they were, you know, something, when they were hauling, like when they were hauling, like we were running 4 and 5 ton of cords, four cords of wood,
Yep.
4 balsa. Well, on the ice roads, they were hauling as high as 10 cords
Oh wow.
on that ice roads. Man,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
Nowadays we got it easy.
Yeah. Then about, my dad was there when the cleat tracks came in, and you know, when the tractors came in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, that's, boy, that's, yeah, like I tell you, October we went up, November, December, January, February, March, never washed one time.
Yeah.
Never washed, never changed clothes, never nothing.
You stayed up there the whole
come
time.
Down, yeah, come down in March, April, March.
Okay.
Yeah, March. That was the day. And come home, and boy, the first thing we walked in the house, my mother had a tub of water ready for
Yeah.
us. to
So
take
you
our
and your
bath.
brother went up to the camps
Yeah.
and worked there.
Yeah.
So you were 17,
I was 17. He was 16.
16, and now was your dad up there?
We found the camp. We could just about. I had a brother that he could find that camp. Now it's guesswork now.
Okay.
It's falling apart.
Yeah.
But
So that's in Cornell, or over in that area.
what they call woodland.
Woodland.
Yeah, once
Okay.
you go past Cornell, then you gotta go to a little place called Woodland.
Okay.
Yeah,
So there's camps up there that you worked at.
yeah.
Okay.
That was my dad's. He owned. He had bought. I don't know how many 40s he bought.
Okay.
A lot of nice stuff. Nice balsa. Oh,
Okay.
you should see that little the picture I got.
Yeah. So in that picture, are you 17 with
Yeah.
your brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I took that picture.
Okay. Wow. And your dad owned the property that you were working on?
Yeah.
Okay.
He owned the property up to a point
Okay.
where our camp was.
Yeah.
So from there to where the railroad track was about a mile and a half. So my dad didn't own any of that property.
Okay. And then did you sell it to the?
And nobody ever bothered him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you sell that wood to the mill?
Yep.
Okay.
You come down there and Sawyer Stoll. See, Sawyer Stoll was a big lumber outfit
Okay.
in Escanaba, still known to this day. And they were teamed up with the paper mill.
Okay.
So they got the pulpwood and how that was handled with
Yeah.
Sawyer Stoll and the paper mill up. And I know Joe Gross was scaler. And those things came in there. Just to show you one little trick we used to do. Like a piece had to be 4 inches. 4 inches around.
Yep.
Well, you get a piece 2 inches, 4 inches long. Remember, you had to get 8 feet. Get it 4 inches long, but it was big on this end, but it was small on the other end.
Okay.
You didn't get 4 inches on. So what you do, you turn that tape. You should put the big end on the outside.
Yeah. So when they measure everything.
That's right.
Okay.
It was never.
Never.
Oh, that was the trick.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
when,
wow.
when we were loading, we'd run into that on the pile.
Okay.
You'd get a piece of wood,
But-
4 feet long, but 4 inches on one side, but not 4 inches on the other
Yeah.
end. Well, we had to find another piece. But then when you turn them, then you had put the 2 small pieces together.
Okay.
You got your big pieces out of that.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was.
Now you're getting a sense of this.
And I was young. I had drove for my dad. The horses, I drove horses on the farm and all that. And then I had something to learn.
Yeah.
There was a lot to learn on the kind of roads that we had, because the kind of roads that we had we call sleigh roads. I mean snow, not ice, snow. So anyway, I come up to the landing, up to the railroad track, I had to cross 2 railroad tracks, and then the switch where we were going to unload on 2 more. That's 2 railroad tracks, that's 4. And I came up, and by that time I had to sort of realize that my horses were tired. They've been working 2.5 miles from
Yeah.
where we first got the pulpwood. Well, I don't know, I just waited, hesitated, and gave the horses the go ahead, and I started off across that track. We got halfway across
Yeah.
that iron on when the sleighs,
Yeah.
iron on iron,
Yeah.
the horses that were tired stalled right there.
Yeah.
Here we are up there on 4 railroad tracks,
Yeah.
and my dad was waiting, and was he mad?
Yeah.
He thought he was going to crucify me right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't, and to this day, I don't know how. I know my dad is the one that figured it out. I don't know how we got out of it.
You don't know how
I
you
know
got-
my dad must have took reign of the team, and he pulled her out of there.
Wow.
That was one of my big mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, about 5 cords, and you figure 1 cord is about 20 tons. I don't know how many tons a cord of balsam,
Yeah.
green balsam. In other words, what we had about 40 tons on that. We had an awful load on that sleigh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that was one of my boo-boos, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad was mad.
And then
Oh,
you went to the war after that, right?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, after that,
Right after.
I came down from there, then I fiddled around, ended up, yeah, all kinds of, oh yeah, I got a lot of, I was pretty lucky during the war,
Yeah.
pretty lucky, I was really lucky, but that's,
More stories.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
long stories there,
I'll have to get more from you next time
Yeah.
here.
that's right,
Yep. Gotta get them all.
but you